President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump put on a united front Friday following one of the most difficult weeks of Trump's presidency after the World Learned Trump Organization executive Allen Weisselberg got an immunity deal. The couple left the White House Friday en route to Ohio as yet another key player from Trump's inner circle was revealed to have made a deal with investigators. Federal prosecutors granted an immunity deal to Allen Weisselberg, the chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, in their probe that secured a guilty plea from Trump lawyer Michael Cohen, it was revealed Friday. He is both a bookkeeper and a key executive running the organization who is familiar with major aspects of the organization. News of Weisselberg's immunity deal comes a day after it was revealed American Media Incorporated. Publisher David Pecker received immunity. Pecker's firm paid McDougal $150,000 and promised magazine covers and work in exchange for the life rights of her story about an affair with a married man. Although Cohen himself has no known cooperation agreement with prosecutors, he pleaded guilty to 8 counts and said he was directed by an individual, Trump, to violate campaign finance laws. Trump has taken to calling his longtime lawyer a rat, while praising convicted former campaign chair Paul Manafort for not breaking under pressure. A Virginia jury convicted Manafort on 8 counts this week. Trump's trip to Ohio may be a welcome diversion from the encirclement. He attends a fundraising roundtable with supporters in Columbus. He also is attending the Ohio Republican Party state dinner. He carried the Buckeye state in 2016, though the governor, John Kasich, will snub him by skipping the event. He and the First Lady will also visit Nationwide Children's Hospital, where they will visit the neonatal intensive care unit to focus on special programs for babies born with neonatal abstinence syndrome, NAS. The syndrome is linked to the nation's opioid epidemic. Weisselberg is the executive who runs the Trump Organization along with Don Jr. and Eric under a trust created by the president after the 2016 election. The Wall Street Journal reported his immunity deal just a day after it was revealed National Enquirer publisher David Pecker has received an immunity deal himself. Both men were involved in talks to secure a $150,000 payment for a former Playboy model who claims she slept with Donald Trump. Cohen spoke to Weisselberg about negotiations with former Playboy model Karen McDougal. "I've spoken to Allen Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up. So, I'm all over that. And I spoke to Allen about it," Cohen told Trump in a tape recording from September 2016 obtained by CNN. And Weisselberg was identified as the executive from whom Cohen sought reimbursement from company funds after using a home equity loan to pay $130,000 to porn star Stormy Daniels. It was not immediately clear what was the extent or nature of the immunity deal he secured. Weisselberg was subpoenaed to appear before the grand jury investigating Cohen earlier this year. His grant of immunity may have been related to cooperation in limited matters relating to Cohen. But word of the immunity deal raised immediate prospects that prosecutors had secured the cooperation of someone with intimate knowledge of how the Trump Organization operates. Weisselberg began working for Trump's father, Fred, in the 1970s. He also worked on the board of the Trump Foundation, the subject of a probe in New York, while serving on the board of the Miss Universe pageant, which Trump previously owned. The elder Trump hired him as an accountant right out of college. "He is deeply passionate, fiercely loyal and has stood alongside my father and our family for over 3 decades," Ivanka told the Wall Street Journal in a 2016 profile of him. A former Trump executive said in the article Weisselberg would handle household expenses, along with purchases of boats and planes, for Trump. Authorities in New York State have subpoenaed Cohen in connection to their own probe of the Trump Foundation. Special counsel Robert Mueller's investigators handed off the Cohen case to the Southern District of New York. Previous reports have shown investigators have shown an interest in some Trump Organization business that Weisselberg may conceivably have information about, such as discussion of a Trump Tower Moscow during the 2016 campaign. Cohen communicated with the chief financial officer of the Trump Organization when successfully seeking reimbursement for his $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels, his attorney revealed this week. Both Daniels and McDougal claims they had affairs with Trump, which he denies. Cohen lawyer Lanny Davis mentioned Weisselberg, the powerful Trump Organization CFO, in an interview on Wednesday after government charging documents revealed that 2 different executives had knowledge of the payments. Cohen forwarded his first invoice in February 2017 to a person identified only as Executive 1 and who passed it on to Executive 2 for approval. Davis revealed that the invoices went to the person who was the controller, the individual, the chief financial officer. Interviewer Wolf Blitzer then aided Davis in his brief memory lapse by noting Alan Weisselberg is the powerful CFO who had been subpoenaed to testify before a federal grand jury. Weisselberg, Davis replied, before observing that I always have a problem, likely with recalling or pronouncing certain names. Davis then backtracked, I'm guessing, and I don't know that the invoices were sent to Mr. Weisselberg. Weisselberg is the executive who runs the Trump Organization along with Trump's two adult sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. The Wall Street Journal reported in July that Weisselberg, an accountant and key figure who spent decades working for Trump, made payments to Cohen but did not know about Cohen's $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, citing a source familiar with his thinking. The Trump Organization did not respond to requests Wednesday and Thursday about who Cohen's invoices were directed to, but the process he followed was laid out in detail by the government under the section headed Campaign Finance Violations in the charging document. Cohen set up an LLC and wired $130,000 to the porn star's attorney on October 27, 2016. In January 2017, Cohen sought reimbursement from the Trump Organization. He provided a bank statement reflecting the $130,000 plus a $35 wire fee, which further established what the payment was for. He hand-wrote an additional $50,000, according to the charging document, claiming payment for tech services. Executives then grossed up the total so that Cohen wouldn't have to incur taxes to $360,000. They also added a bonus of $60,000 for a total of $420,000. On Valentine's Day, 2017, Cohen sent Executive 1 his first invoice pursuant to a retainer agreement. It was for services rendered, billing $35,000 for each of 2 months. The exec forwarded the invoice to Executive 2 that same day via email. This exec sent it to another Trump employee, adding, "Please pay from the trust. Post to legal expenses. Put retainer for the months of January and February 2017 in the description." The trust likely refers to the trust Donald Trump set up for his holdings after the election, which is being overseen by his 2 sons and Weisselberg. The document says Cohen later sent invoices to 1 or more representatives of the company monthly. However, in truth and in fact, there was no such retainer agreement, and the monthly invoices Cohen submitted were not in connection with any legal services he had provided in 2017. Cohen's guilty plea to campaign violations has raised questions about whether any other person or entity who coordinated with him might get charged. Justice Department guidelines state that a sitting president can't get charged. Another corporation involved with payments to women negotiated by Cohen, American Media Incorporated, may have received another form of protection. The Wall Street Journal reported that Army's CEO David Pecker had gotten an immunity agreement